Good morning, Primal Squad. CK here. I'm out at the beautiful beach in Florida, and I just had an amazing decompression session with a client, and I feel inspired to get in some length and strength as well. I know my body needs it, so I'd love for you to join me today. We're gonna be doing some active forward folding, some great step decompression, a little bit of active hinging, and then rounding it back out with another dose of forward folding. You just can't go wrong with a little back chain length and strength. So all you need today is just your own body weight and maybe something to post up against. And let's get into the fun. I'm just gonna set my timer here. We're gonna spend about 3 to 5 minutes in each position. So you can use a band if you want, mat up if you need to. Let's get into it. I'm gonna go into a nice, strong stance. Feet are facing forward. I got my laser beams on point. I'm gonna activate my bootstraps and start to pull pressure out of my front of my feet, opening up my ankles. And I'm gonna do a nice little hip hinge until just my glutes are on my support beam. Maybe you're using a wall at home, that's fine too. And I'm going to nice and gently pull my body down, 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 as my hips reach up and back behind me. I'm gonna find some nice length out in this position. And now we start to refine and make adjustments. When I'm forward folding, I like to favor a little bit more internal rotation if I can, but you can also play around with maybe a little bit of external, internal, maybe flowing between those two things. That's also fine. But let's keep a little bit extra pressure in our body, starting with my feet. I'm gonna find my big toe, really great for balance, traction into the ground there. And I'm gonna feel all the rest of my toes spread evenly across the board, finding this nice pressure through this half moon shape of my foot, pulling my arches up, opening up the front of my ankles, and feeling a lot of activation in the back line of my body. If I notice that I'm finding and holding on to some tension in the front of my hips, this is where we start to go into breath work. Big inhale through the nose, inflating those pockets and areas of my hips, maybe my low back, mid back, upper back, back of the neck. And as I exhale, I'm going to blow out those birthday cake candles gently through my mouth, nicely contracting the front of my body, like I'm giving my transverse abs, everything in the front, a nice little hug. Exhaling all the old air out so we can make room for a new breath, more expansion in the back line of my body. You might start to feel a little tingly. I know I have things that are engaging for me now, all the way from that nice little spring on my foot. I can feel my lateral calves starting to engage. I can feel the back of my hamstrings pulling my hips up even higher as I equally extend in the opposite direction with my hands reaching forward. Let the back of the neck go. In all of these positions, you don't need to be a robot. Remember, this is your movement practice too, not just for me, but for you as well. So flow into any little intuitive movement you need. Make any little micro adjustment. You know your body better than I do. And we just want to feed it what feels good. Feed those green lights. Let's take another big inhale together through the nose. Keep inflating. 5, 4, keep going. 3, 2, 1. Hold and exhale for 5, 4, 3. Squeezing along the way. 2, 1. All the old air out. Continue to repeat that cycle. We're going to spend 1 more minute here. Sometimes I reach to the right. Sometimes I reach to the left. Sometimes I go a little wider in my base, but all the while feeling strong, rooted, grounded feet, strong, long back chain. Last 30 seconds here. I hope that you're feeling the back of your neck pulling you through the earth. I feel like I'm not folding as much just because the microphone is kind of blocking me, but doing our best. Now, when we come out of this, hold the bottoms of your shins, slowly zombie or slide your way up using the back line to pull yourself back to standing. Carefully come all the way up out of this, or the floor is always a great safety net. Oh, I needed that big time. We're now gonna take that big active forward fold into a step decompression. It's okay if you don't have a step or something to hang your heels off. You can get creative with it with books or anything like that. You can also just do a nice hinge hold using a wall, that's fine too. So let's go into our step decompression. I have this nice park bench I'm gonna work with here. So my hands are gonna go on the support. I'm gonna step up and place the trampoline part of my foot, the springy edge of my foot, on the support bench, and my heels are going to hover. And then I'm gonna start to find that same active length and strength, just like I did in my active forward fold. So this is going to be intense. This is a very intense series, but I can tell even by just the active forward fold I did, I feel much more open and secure. And so now I get to just take note of what I'm feeling in my body. I feel like I'm not just stepping on the bench, but I'm pulling this line. I'm favoring a little bit of internal rotation to start, so I can really engage my hamstrings, my spinal erectors. I can hover down low. I can also remain high. I like to sometimes play around with a little turtle shell in my back, but if I'm doing that, I'm just continuing to breathe into that bigger surface area of my body. And then I exhale and actively engage the front of my core. I know it's kind of hard to see these baggy clothes. I just can't help myself. I love wearing pillowcases. But we're just being super active here. Always finding little pockets, little micro adjustments, few side bends. Going back to the breath as much as possible, as much as needed. Little ways you can work with this position that can add some intensity, or maybe you need to favor one pattern versus the other. If you're someone that needs to favor practicing a little bit more external rotation, maybe you are overly flexible and you need to learn to pressurize and set strong, open, secure loading shapes, I would recommend maybe putting a band around the knees or around the calves, thighs I mean, maybe not necessarily kneecaps, and favoring a little bit of this open squat position. If you need to work on more of that internal release, that length, then maybe putting a yoga block. I love putting a yoga block actually between my knees and squeezing that, because then it brings my femurs in and I can really focus on pulling length out of my system. A lot of ways that you can favor and feed a movement practice based on what your individual body needs. You know your body better than we do, so feed it exactly what it needs on a daily basis. When things start to get a little bit intense here, I like to play around with dropping my heels into a calf raise and then just repeating that motion very controlled. But I only drop my heels down enough to where I'm not going to collapse my arches in. I want to stay strong in my feet, strong on the descent. And then I can even play around with some squinging. There's so many ways that you can use step decompression to strengthen while you load and pressurize all the little micro muscles and the big muscles. But we know, I've said it once, I'm saying it a million more times, feet have 29 muscles in them. So let's train them up. Strong feet eat. Strong feet correlate to strong hips. Good, let's settle into this. 30 more seconds, very active. Press wide with your feet, pull everything up and long. Big inhales. Exhale it out, all the old air out. And again, big inhale, last one, biggest breath. Long exhale out. And time. We're kind of finding good little 4-minute blocks of work right now. Just enough. You can stay up here as long as you want to, but that active forward fold into this active step decompression that will come out of, you can always hold a little longer, whatever feels good. Now we're gonna get in a few rounds of just very active hinges, and then we'll round it out with one more very active wide forward fold. I really like this superset. We're just gonna start with feet narrow, and we're going to hip hinge, pulling our hips back and holding this strong position, strong hip hinge position, hips back, strong and long spine. Very active with the feet, pulling wide, but then finding everything funneling back in and long. Never hesitate to use support as needed. And now we're gonna get in 10 good hip hinges, where my hips and chest move together. Ready, begin. 10, on my count. 9, 8, femurs funneling in. 7, 6, 5, you can counterbalance if you need to with the arms. 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. Hold, big inhale. Exhale it out, tail tuck down if you need to. And forward fold it out. Pitter patter away. That should have definitely engaged the back, especially after the big blocks of work we've done so far. Carefully latch your hands to your shins. Use your posterior to pull you back up to a strong athletic position. And we're gonna repeat that little hinge 2 more times. But we're gonna go a little bit wider in our base. A little bit more athletic stance. A little bit more athletic stance. It's not just the back extension and flexion. I am pulling my hips back as much as I can as I'm pulling my chest down to the ground. There's more space back there to work with than you think, so challenge yourself on that. Bonus points if you can hold strong pressure while the heels are elevated, but if they're not, use the heels a little bit of stability so you can pull back and access as much pressure and length as possible. Here we go, round 2. We're going into that nice big hinge hold first in 3, 2, 1. Hinge and hold. Put pressure to the outside part of your feet. Pull everything up and long. Find your posterior, glutes, hamstrings, low back. Everything's lit up right now after all the work we've done so far. Spread the arms out if you need to. Reach, whatever feels good right now, but just lock in this athletic back chain base. Super engaged in that low back. Back to the breath. That's why we feed that decompression so much, that breath work especially, so we can hold these powerful positions a little bit longer. Let's get those 10 reps in. Here we go together in 3, 2, 1. We're hip hinging, and 1, 2, strong arches. 3, strong hips. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, hold. One more breath, maybe a little micro tail tuck if the back tension is insane. Not tension in a bad way, but just a lot of that activation. And pull yourself back down, forward fold. Good. All the way back up slowly. Take your time. Walk it out. Super engaged, super active. Last set, best set. We're gonna go as wide as we can. I like to favor a little bit more of this internal line here, but just getting as much athletic base as possible. Let's really light it up, and then we're gonna round out by holding that fold at the bottom a little bit longer. Here we go. Wide base, almost as if I was the width of a yoga mat. Same thing, I'm gonna pull my hips back as I reach forward and find holding positions here. Wide base, maybe even favoring a little pigeon position. And holding. I kind of try to feel how much of my body weight do I feel like I could send behind me without feeling like I'm gonna fall backwards. I still feel like I could launch forward athletically as needed. But I feel this entire line in my backside, so much length, so much activation, so much strength, pulling this imaginary string from my tailbone all the way through the top of my head. And 10 reps, here we go. These are gonna be intense. Let's begin on my count in 3, 2, 1. Reaching, 1, 2, 3, pull back, 4, 5. Notice I'm never thrusting out of it. I'm staying long and strong and connected. I lost count already, so let's do 3 more. 3, 2, 1, hold as long as you can. I have to get to the floor, but you can hold it even longer if you want to. Oh, that got real spicy. If you're still holding, good on you. Otherwise, join us down when you burn out in this big, wide, active forward fold. This is still super intense. We're gonna use this as our last little bit here. As much length as we can. If you need to walk your feet in a little bit more narrow, find the position of that forward fold that feels best for your body and just let everything go. Feels super intense, but we're just letting our body feel it, find it, melt into it. I got tingles all over the place. Maybe you're already a little shaky too. That's good. One of my clients was telling me about this great quote. I'm blanking on who said it, but it's basically, if it's on fire, you're rewiring. So that's a good thing. Rewire the system. This is the new normal. Athletic body, athletic base, strong, durable. If you need that extra support, again, feel free to find it. I think I am gonna switch around here and just find the awning a little bit for my hiney, for my hiney to be on. Maybe this one. There we go. Whew, because I am feeling things. I'm feeling a lot of things. I'm gonna go to one side, maybe the other. It feels super intense right now, which means I've been working really hard and I need to do this a little bit more. I need a little bit more length in my life. I've been doing a lot of loading. I need a little bit more lengthening. Lengthening with a lot of active tension, positive tension through the body. Just like when we positively compress the front side so we can expand and breathe into the back side. Last minute. If you cannot hold this anymore, again, remember this is your practice too, so default back to the floor, find your back, kick the legs up, and just melt into the ground. Last 30 seconds. Such a little simple practice. Doesn't take much. "15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening." Those little movement snacks add up in big ways. Don't let anyone fool you. Good, take your time. Spend as much time as you feel called to be in that active forward fold. When you're ready to come out of this position, slowly zombie your way back up or find your way to the floor. But again, you can spend as much time as you need in any one of these positions. That felt so good for my body. I think I actually grew an inch. I feel like my hips have opened up, my ankles, my back, everything, my neck, everything needed that small little dose of movement. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm gonna go get a little bit more decompression in at the ocean, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day too. CK, out. Till next time.